Okay, then the assignment problem, if you're having problems, is a baseball is hit into the air at an initial height of 4 feet, initial velocity of 30 feet per second. For how many seconds is a ball in the air? So we're trying to find the seconds. So I make my units box, and it would be feet and seconds. So I apply an x variable to the seconds because that's the time, y to the feet. Then the feet per second's 30x. Now again, it's not a line because the ball's hit, it reaches a peak, comes back down. The force pulling the ball back towards the ground is gravity, which in algebra is negative 16x to the second. And so you just use negative 16 for gravity. Okay, now the ball it's not hit from the ground. You don't hit a baseball from the ground. It's not golf. You hit it from 4 feet and it lands at 0 feet. Nobody's going to catch it. So now you line up your equation. So when you have that, that means you have to have the negative 16x to the second first. That's your A. Then your B is the 30x. Then your C is where you started from, which is 4. And you're equal to where it lands, which is 0. So there's two solutions. You got your A, B, C, so we're going to apply the discriminant first to see if we have to factor or use the quadratic formula. Okay, so B, that's going to be 30. So we have the square root of 30 to the second. Remember, you need two parentheses at the beginning, so 30. Close the first parenthesis, you just hit it once, and to the second power you go x to the y to the second. Then I subtract a factor of 4. And then A and C, A is negative 16, C is 4. Okay, so after the parentheses 4, I make a new parentheses and put negative 16. I make a new parentheses and put 4. Okay. Okay, we got a whole number, so that means this can be factored. So we got through. You make your GCF box, then we'll have to do a t-table to try to make the two parentheses. GCF, well, we know that it needs to be negative because whenever the A is negative, the GCF's negative. So we look up 16, 4, and 30 on the multiplication table. We look at the row of 4 first. 16's there, but 30's not. All three of them have to be in the row. Now 4 is also in the second row, and 16's in that row, and so is 30. So I factor out a negative 2. I don't put an x with it, I just put negative 2. So then I go divide all these by negative 2, but don't put an x with it. The x squared and the x stay like they are. So that's going to be 8x to the second. That's my A, still, because it's got x to the second. Minus 15, because positive 30 divided by negative 2 is negative 15x, that's my B. Positive 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2, that's your C. Okay, now you have to factor the inside. Take your A times C, 8 times negative 2 is negative 16, so it's positive times a negative. We're trying to add that to get negative 15. Doesn't take long, because 16 divided by 1 is 16. Positive 1 times negative 16 is negative 15. Okay. Okay, then my A is 8. Okay, so we'll need two sets of parentheses. Go 8, 8, and then x plus 1, x minus 16. Now that one won't divide. You have your F1. It's still 8x plus 1. Because you can only divide that by 1. Now 8 and 16, the 8th row, 16 is also in the 8th row, so 8's the GCF, 8's the factor I want to divide by, so that's 1x minus 2. Again, that negative 2 that we took out goes right here, but you don't put it's not really important, okay? And now I've rewritten that starting equation in factored form. So 8x plus 1 could equal 0. Some of you are like, what do you do with the negative 2? If it doesn't have an x attached to it, nothing. Okay? It's just there. So that's negative 1. Okay, so negative 1/8 is the first solution. Second one, we add 2. Okay, divide by 1, it's still 2. Negative 1/8 and 2, so 2 seconds.